Hello everybody and welcome back to Sin City Living. Apologies for not having posted as much lately as I usually do. Been a busy couple of weeks, schedule changes, a lot of things going on at work, but hopefully I can get myself back into the swing of things, so we'll be bringing you guys some more videos. As always, a shout out of appreciation to our patrons. All those tips of support are very appreciated. Once we get the live stream going, we're probably going to do a patron only live stream, but otherwise right now I hope you guys are enjoying the videos that we're able to put out with the entire How to Deal Dice class. So should have a couple more of those coming out in the next couple of days. And for everybody else, please keep an eye. We're still struggling getting the live stream going. I think I've got the equipment. I'm just having some issues, compatibility issues, but I'm going to get them figured out. We're going to get the live streams going, starting out with the craps tournament. Right now I only have about 7 or 8 players, but I'm hoping that a few more of you guys will email us with some interest in it. We are going to have to back the time up from Thursdays at 6 to probably 4:30. My schedule did change. I no longer have Thursdays off. But that being said, if you're curious about the Patreon live streams and stuff like that, just check the description of the video down below. And otherwise, we're going to go ahead and jump right into today's video. So for today's video, we're going to talk a little bit about come bets. Come bets are one of the 4 core strategies when it comes to playing craps. They're also one of the more, I'm not going to say common strategies, they tend to be more of an old school bet. Generally, when I see people playing come bets, they fall into one of 2 categories. Either people that first learned how to play craps 30, 40 years ago, or people who are brand new to craps and had that shown to them by a father or grandfather or just another person that was near them on the tables. I'm not saying that other people don't play come bets, but in general, those are the 2 demographics I tend to see the most. And the reason for that is because place bets tend to be easier and more predictable. You can pick your numbers, things along those lines, easier to press, and a lot of craps players like to be able to be more aggressive as well, while come bets tend to be a slightly more conservative bet. But there are a lot of factors to come bets that people are not aware of. The first thing about come bets that many people tend to either forget or not be aware of is that you do not actually have to go through the come. The come, this area right here, favors the player. 8 ways to win, 4 ways to lose. Anything else goes up to a point. So of the 12 combinations of the dice, or 1 in 3 chances of the dice coming as a win-loss condition, right? 2 of, and it's a 2-to-1 favorite to win. Twice as likely to win as to lose, and a third of all the combinations of the dice are either going to win or lose. So, seeing as how this favors the player, the house will, of course, have no issues whatsoever with a player that wants to skip that part of the bet. Why would you want to skip that part of the bet? 2 reasons. Reason number 1, a come bet does not win any money until the number has hit twice. And you guys all know, statistically, numbers are not going to hit twice very often. 1 in 6 chance of a 7 rolling. So the odds of a number rolling twice before 7 are not super common. Of course, it happens all the time. Just like you'll have 10, 12, 15 rolls of the dice without a 7, even though it's a 1 in 6 chance. But it is more difficult. So if all you're doing is playing come bets, you're going to lose a lot of them until you hit that hot roll. And the thing is, the hot roll favors all the strategies. Doesn't make the come bets brilliant anymore. It makes the place bets brilliant or anything else. The hot rolls favor everybody. So that's reason number 1 why people may want to skip the come, so that it doesn't require hitting a number twice in order to get paid. The second reason people may want to skip the come is because they want to try and get to specific numbers. With a come bet, you're at the mercy of the dice. The next roll of the dice, basically you're starting a brand new game. So with a come bet, you can, instead of going through the come, you can say, I want to put the 8. Now, why would you want to put the 8? Well, if the point is 6, so the 2 most common numbers to roll are the 6 and 8. Outside of a 7, of course. So you may want to get your come bet directly in there. So what you can say is, I want to put the 8. And by saying you want to put the 8, your come bet will travel directly into the 8. Now at that point, you can place odds. Now let's say we're on a 3, 4, 5 table, then you would place $50 in odds. And now you can do another come bet, you can do another put bet if you wanted to. You can put all the numbers. I've seen people do that. I've seen somebody that just skip the come. As soon as there was a point established, did a put bet all the way across. Every single number. So, and then laid odds, and that way they were going to get paid no matter what rolled. So those are the two reasons that people may want to skip the come. One thing that tends to throw people off also, it confuses people when there's a come bet. The general rule of thumb, the general expectation is if somebody has odds on their come bet, in general they keep to the same odds. That's not always true, but in general they keep to the same odds. And it's true often enough that it has actually become part of the procedure. If you have a come bet and you have a brand new come bet, and the number rolls in that would have that come travel into where your come bet is, your previous one, they will not take you down. This pays $70. 50 pays $60 plus a $10 flat bet. So this pays $70. So they're going to take it and they're going to put it next to your incoming come bet, and they're going to say off and on for $70. They're not even going to touch that bet. They're not going to move it. Why? Because, again, in general, if they actually came off and then traveled on, in general, people are going to do the same odds. So it works out to the exact same as if you just did that, which is why that is the procedure. It's not an optional thing. It's not something that they ask or that you have to ask for. That is the procedure. So let's say you're on a 10 times odds and you only had 5 times in odds and they do off and on. You say, well, I want to increase my odds. Okay, cool, no problem. We can increase your odds. You want to double it up? Cool, you're at max odds now. No problem. We can take it out of your payout, and then you just keep on going. Now, your come bets are going to get paid out in the come where you bet them. Again, this is a self-service betting area, so you need to be aware, be paying attention, and pick up your money. Now, they're going to remind you, hey, you got to pick up your money, got to pick up your money, got to pick up your money. Technically, if the dice roll again, all this became a new come bet. Technically. In reality, they're probably going to try and stop it from happening before the dice roll, but technically that is what would happen. Just like if you're on a come out roll and you got paid on, say, a winner 7 and you forgot to pick it up. That all becomes part of your new line bet. If it lays, it plays. Rack it or stack it, whatever phrase they wish to use. Now, what about when you're at max odds and now you want to increase your bet? This is yet another reason why I recommend place bets, but you can actually increase even when you're already maxed out. So let's say you're in a situation where you're on a 3-4-5 table and you're hitting just a super hot roll. I'll clean this up as soon as I finish putting them all down. You're on a super hot roll. So you've not only managed to get onto every number, we'll call this bases loaded. So at this point, it's kind of like a place bet where you're just off and on. You're just getting paid over and over and over again. But you're also at max odds, and you've gotten paid a few times. The roll is really going well, and you're thinking, I want to get paid more. I've made enough now that I'm, even if I lose all of these, I'm definitely well into the profit level. So I want to win more money. It's just like with place bets, people start pressing them, and they get more and more aggressive the more they've won. Because once you've hit a certain point, no matter what happens, you are well ahead. You might as well just go for the moon. You can do that with a come bet. Now, there's a couple of different things you can do. The first thing you can do is you can increase your come bet. If the flat bet is different, now things change when it comes to paying them. This would be off for 70, and you would be on for 15, which is your flat bet. And now you are able to increase your bet or increase your odds because you have a larger flat bet. So now 5 times 15 is 75. So now you can do 75 in odds. But what if you don't want to wait for it to roll? What if you want to go ahead and increase all your odds right away? What can you do? Well, if you remember, you can directly go into a point. It's called a put bet, right? Which is, by the way, is the reason why even after there's a point, if you're a brand new player and you come up to the table, that's the reason you're allowed to go down onto the pass line. You're putting the point. It's what's basically happening, and now you can do odds. Well, if you'll remember from prior videos, if you have a pass line bet, you're always allowed to increase it. You're always allowed to make it bigger. You can never make it smaller, but you're always allowed to make it bigger. Why is that? Because once there's a point established, the odds favor the house. Much more likely for a 7 to roll. So therefore you are allowed, of course, to increase your bet. Definitely not allowed to make it smaller. So if you can increase your line bet, and come bets are the exact same thing, then it stands to reason that you could also increase your come bets. So let's say that you've got the basis loaded, you've made a lot of money, and you want to start risking more and getting paid more. So you could throw this in and you could say, I want to go to 15 and 75. That'd be the easiest way to say it. I want to go to 15 and 75. You're putting another $5, and then you're going back up to max odds now that you have a larger bet. And you could do the same thing down here. You could say, I want to put this one up to 15 and 60. And in fact, all you'd really have to do is throw in a green. Say, I want to go at 15 and 60. Done. Very, very simple. Very, 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 very simple. For this one, you'd have to go to 15 and 45. All right, so you only need to throw in $20, and then they can just take you up to 15 and 45. Now, if you're going to do that, I would also recommend increasing your come bet so that you can continue to be off and on. But that is how you would, quote unquote, press a come bet if you're a come bet player. Hope you guys find this interesting, enlightening, illuminating. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. We will catch you next time. Bye now. Okay, guys, so as I promised at the end of the videos, I'm going to talk a little bit more about the live stream and how it's going to work. So the first thing is, if you're interested in being one of the players for our craps tournaments, which is we're going to have every single week, please email us at sincityliving.lv@gmail.com. I need the email addresses and want to know who is interested so that we can get it set up and we can select it. I'm going to have the first round is going to be 16 players. There'll be 4 players per week. The 5th week is going to be the 4 champions from the previous weeks to get an ultimate champion. I haven't decided yet what the prize will be. Maybe I'll see if I can pick up another one of these lights. But we'll have some sort of prize for our champion. So please, if you're interested, email us. I want to pick the first 8 players, the first 2 weeks worth of players, so that we'll have the first 4 ready for the first week, and the other 4 will be kind of backup, just in case somebody has connection issues or something comes up and they're not able to play that week. Then I've got the other players on standby, so I can just bump one of them up or maybe shift the first person down or something along those lines. The main tournament is going to be Thursdays at 6 o'clock, my time, Las Vegas time, 6 p.m. Las Vegas time. And it's the way it's going to work is it's going to be a time thing. I'm going to do the live stream for an hour. I'm going to do the game for an hour, rather. And it might work out to about 30 rolls, might work out to about 40 rolls. I'm not too sure. We'll see how it goes. But it's going to be time. It's going to be an hour. Instead of the craps tournaments that they do down on the strip where it's 30 rolls, we're going to do an hour. So I want to make sure I have a finite time limit for this to start with, and then we will go from there. I'm going to find a way, either a Discord or a Zoom or a private chat room, some way for the players to be logged into something where I can communicate with them on my second computer so that they can tell me what their bets are, what they want to bet, what they want to press when something hits, without me having to scroll through the full chat of the live stream itself. I'm not going to be able to keep an eye on that, and if we have enough people watching and chatting, it could be difficult to keep an eye. So I have to figure that part out. Another reason I need the emails, so I can communicate back and forth with the potential players. So if you're interested, again, please email me. Eventually, just pretty much everybody's going to have an opportunity to be in on these things because we're going to do multiple ones. I'm also looking at probably doing a second craps tournament, maybe late Wednesday nights, possibly, I'm not sure, where I'm going to do it a little bit different. The second one is going to be, instead of 1 hour and then whoever's got the most chips is the winner, because those craps tournaments tend to have really weird strategies. They're not normal strategies that you'd see in normal play, because you're competing against other players and you just want to make sure you have more chips than them by the end. What I'm going to do with the second tournament is, instead of a weekly winner, we're going to play for an hour, and then I'll keep track of how much money people still have on there, or how many chips they still have. And then the next week, same players are going to keep going. Basically, this game will go until the bankrolls end, until we have one person with money left, or chips left. Again, there's no money involved in this. So once we have one final winner, so people will drop out as their play money bankrolls expire, as they run out of chips. So that one, I'm guessing we'll see some more normal strategies, the kind of things people actually play when they're actually playing craps. And then eventually we're going to add baccarat, pai gow, 3-card poker, blackjack, of course, to these tournaments. Whatever we can, to these live streams and live stream tournaments, whatever we can, when we can, as best we can. We're going to have to figure it out as we go. We have a lot of time constraints between me working full-time plus a child. But we're going to do the best we can. We're very, very excited to have this going. And we also will try and pick a day or time where I can do a patron exclusive tournament or two. We'll see. We'll see how many of our patrons are interested, and see if we can't get that going as well, where it's only on the patron site. So definitely stay tuned, guys. Please, if you're interested in playing in one of the tournaments or partaking in our live streams, aside from just the chat, obviously it's a live stream. Please watch, chat with us, let us know how it's going or what you think, and otherwise, please, again, email us, sincityliving.lv@gmail.com. Otherwise, I hope you guys are enjoying the videos. Any suggestions, please hit us up. Thank you guys very, very much. We appreciate every single one of you guys, and we will catch you guys next time. Bye now.